Hi, and welcome to another practice lesson. We are going to go over graphing functions and spend a little bit more time on that because the video with graphing functions was a little long, so I'm going to do some practice problems today. If you need to go back and view that video, you can check the link below and you'll be able to go through the whole process of graphing functions. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start out with our actual function. So you're going to use the function to create ordered pairs, and then we're going to graph them. So let's go ahead and start with our function. So our function is y equals 2x plus 3. Okay? And then just like we talked about in the other video, x is going to equal -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. You're not always going to be given what x equals, but x can really equal anything that's on your graph and you'll be able to solve for y. So if it doesn't give you any numbers, you can just easily start with maybe 4 or 2 or 1 or whatever's easiest for you. But once you have found the y that equals your x after you have about 3 or 4 ordered pairs, you have enough to graph them and actually figure out what the graph is. So let's go ahead and solve these. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take each x, plug it in for the x here in our original function, and we're going to solve for y. So I have for the first one, y equals 2 times -4 plus 3. So 2 times -4 is -8 plus 3. So now y equals -5. Okay, so let's go to the next one. I'm going to switch colors here so it's easy to tell which one's which. So we have 2 times our next one is -2 plus 3. So now 2 times -2 is -4 plus 3, which means y equals -1. All right, so now we're going to plug in our 0. So I have y equals 2 times 0 plus 3. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 3 equals 3. So there's our y for this one. Next, we're going to plug in our 2. So I have y equals 2 times 2 plus 3. So you'll notice the only thing that changes is where the x was in the original equation. And so now 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3, y equals 7. And then for the last one we're given is 4, so y equals 2 times 4 plus 3. And so 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 plus 3 means y equals 11. All right, so now let's go ahead and in order to create our ordered pairs, you can just write them out, but what we're going to do is actually put them into a table. So let's go ahead with our table here, and we have x and y. Remember, in your ordered pair, x is always written first, so your x in your table is always going to be on the left side. And so for the first number, we have a -4. And when we plugged in -4, our y was -5. Okay? And then when we plugged in a -2, for the next one, our y was -1. When we plugged in a 0, our y was 3. When our x that we plugged in was 2, our y was 7. And then when we plugged in a 4, our y was 11. Let me finish this line here. Now I left a bit of spacing so that we could talk about finding those in-betweens again. And so now that we have our table written out, if I were to finish this other side, I would have a -3, a -1, 1, and a 3 here. So if I can figure out my pattern, I don't actually have to plug in all those numbers to figure out my ordered pairs. I can actually find the pattern and then solve it from there. So let's just go from the 0 to the 2. because that's where we start out with our positive numbers. So between 3 and 7 are 4 digits. So halfway between that would be 2 digits. So if I were to add 2 to this, then I would get 5. And since 5 is between 3 and 7, if I were to plug in a 1, I should get a 5 as my y outcome. Well, let's go ahead and try it. So if I go ahead and plug in 2 times 1, I'm going to plug in this 1 here just to test it out, plus 3. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. So y equals 5. So that one checks out. So my pattern looks like it's correct. So if I add 2 here, if I add 2 here, 7 plus 2 is 9. So 3, if I plug in a 9, I'm going to get, sorry, if I plug in a 3 for the x, I'm going to get 9 for my y. So then back up here, I'm going to go with the same pattern. So between -5 and -1 is going to be -3. And then I'm going to keep going here. So -1 plus 2 is 1. And 1 plus 2 is 3. So that one checks out. So now I have all these ordered pairs. What am I going to do with them? So now let's go on here and graph them. Delete that so that we don't have it in the way. And so now we have our chart here, has our ordered pairs. We have -4, -5. Now I've gone ahead on this graph and I've marked all of the 5s. So this is -5, -10, -15. This is +5, +10, +15. So just to recap, when we're graphing on this here, we're going to go with our x first, and x goes left and right. We always start right here at the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count out to the left, because it's a negative, 4 spaces, and then I'm going to go down, because that's also a negative, 5 spaces. And so where those meet, I have -4, -5. And then next I'm going to go with -2, -1. Now I'm going to skip the ones in between, because those aren't the ones we actually solved for. Those were just the ones that we found our pattern and could fill in the blanks. So we're going to go ahead and just actually graph the ones that we had solved for. So now I have from the origin again, I'm going to go -2, so that's 2 to the left, and then -1 means 1 down. So now I have -2, -1. It's always a good idea to get in a habit of labeling your points on your graph, so that way you always know either what problem it goes to, if you're doing multiple problems on the same graph, or in this case we're going to actually connect them. So the next one we're going to do is our 0, 3, so that's our next ordered pair. And so I start here, and 0 means that I'm not going to go left or right. So the next one, y, is 3, so I'm just going to go straight up 3. So this is 0, 3. And then for my next one, I'm going to do 2, 7. So I'm going to go to the right 2, and then I'm going to go up 7. Now, because I know that these dots here are 5 increments, then it's a lot easier to find this space rather than counting out each one of those little lines. And usually graphs are going to be labeled for you, or you can label it yourself before you start. So then the last one we are going to graph is 4, 11. So I'm going to go to the right 4, and then I'm going to go up 11. So we're right here, so I have 4, 11. Okay, so now when I connect these dots, I end up with a straight line. And when I say a straight line, I'm going to put arrows on the ends, because this line could actually go on forever. And everywhere that this line actually crosses is going to be a point on your chart. So you can go through here and you can actually find those other points very easily. You'll notice we marked -3, -3, which is on our chart when we did that fill in the blank areas. So it's really easy once you get several of those marked and you realize that it's a line, that you can go ahead and complete everything without actually doing all the work sometimes. All right, so let's go on to another practice problem here. And we're still going to do the same thing. We're going to use the function here to solve it. So let's go back to the beginning where we're given our equation, and this one is y equals 3 absolute value x. Okay, x is still going to equal -4, -2, 0, 2, 4. And we're going to stick to those because it gives us a good range there between -4 and +4. So let's go ahead and plug these in. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do y equals 3, absolute value 4. All I do is plug in this -4 for x, and then we're going to solve. So the absolute value of 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 means that y equals 12. Okay, then the next one, I am going to plug in the -2. So 3 absolute value -2. -2 absolute value is 2, and 2 times 3 means that y equals 6. So the next one, y is 3 absolute value 0. Well, the absolute value of 0 is 0, and 0 times 3 is 0. For our next one, we have y equals 3, absolute value 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2, so y equals 6. And you may have already noticed something here that we're going to talk about in just a minute. So we have y equals 3, absolute value 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4, so y equals 12. All right, so let's go ahead and fill in our chart so that we can see what's going on with this one, because it is a little bit different. So for this one, for our x, we have -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. So for our y, whenever we plugged in -4, we got 12. When we plugged in -2, we got 6. When we plugged in 0, we got 0. And when we plugged in 2, +2, we got 6. When we plugged in +4, we were able to get 12. So let's go ahead and graph this one, and it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to see the difference in this graph and the previous graph. So we're going to go ahead and graph our points, and our points here are ordered pairs. Okay. Now, because this is in a table, I'm just putting the parentheses around it so you can see which ones are which, but technically when we write these, we write it with a comma in between. All right, so -4, 12. So I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to go to the left 4, and then I'm going to go up 12. So that's 10, 11, 12 here. So I have -4, 12. Next one is -2 to the left, and then 6 up. So I have -2, 6. And then our third point is 0, 0. Well, 0, 0 is our origin, so it goes right there. Our fourth one here is 2, 6. So we're going to go to the right 2 and then up 6. And then our last one is 4, 12. So we're going to go over 4 and up 12. Now, this one is a little bit different. If you notice, this one doesn't actually make a line. This one makes a V. We're still going to have our arrows because it still continues on and on. Now, the reason this one makes a V is because we have an absolute value in our problem. If you remember, absolute value is just measuring the distance. So regardless of whether it's a positive or a negative, you're going to end up multiplying by a positive. So if you see here, your only negatives are your x's that we plugged in at the beginning. All of your y's are going to be positive because when I solve this with my absolute value, then I'm going to end up on the positive side. Now, just to kind of reflect that, if you were to have a -3 here, it would have changed all of these y's to a negative, which means that my graph would have actually been this direction. Okay? Oh, sorry. So it just depends on when you have absolute value, whether you end up with a positive or a negative as to where your graph's going to end up. But you're always going to end up either on the positive side of the y or the negative side of the y. So that's one of the graphs that looks a lot different. Let's try one more. So we're going to start here and we're going to go through our problem again. So I have y equals x squared plus 2. Now you may have already noticed there's something a little bit different about this one as well. X is going to equal -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. So let's go ahead and plug them in. So I have y equals -4 squared plus 2. So -4 squared is 16. 16 plus 2, y equals 18. Now I have y equals -2 squared plus 2. So -2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2, y equals 6. For the third one, I have y equals 0 squared plus 2. Well, 0 squared is 0. 0 plus 2, y equals 2. So then if I have y equals 2 squared plus 2, 2 squared is 4. 4 plus 2, y equals 6. And then for my last one, I have y equals 4 squared plus 2. So then y equals 4 squared is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18. All right, so let's go ahead and make our table. I have x and y. My x's are -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. And my y's are 18 when I plug in -4, 6 when I plug in -2, 2 when I plug in 0, 6 when I plug in 2, and 18 when I plug in 4. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and graph this one. All right, so let's start here with our first ordered pair. I'm going to go -4, which is to the left, and up 18, which is, all right, so this one's -4, 18. And then the next one we're going to do is -2, 6. So we're up here. And then I have 0, 2, which is right here. My fourth one is 2, 6. And my last one is 4, 18. Now this one looks very similar to the last one. However, we're not getting wider as fast. And so when I go here to connect everything, I'm actually going to end up with a U shape. And you can see it more if you fill in some of the spaces in between. But as far as having an exponent, when you have an exponent in your problem, you're going to end up with the U shape. And if you'll notice, when we went through our problems, when we plugged in a -4, we ended up having -4 squared plus 2. So that -4 times -4 was a positive 16. So therefore, whenever you square your negative, you're going to end up with a positive, which is going to put that again on the positive side of the y. So if we would have had the negative outside of the parentheses and the problem would have been written like this, we would have squared the 4 and then left the negative with the 16, and that would have changed our answer. But it would have ended up on the bottom side as far as below the the x-axis, so it would be negative y's. So you see how, depending on what your function is, your graph can look a lot different. If there is just an x, just a variable, it doesn't even have to be an x. Well, in this case we have x and y, excuse me. So if you just have your variable x and you solve it, you're going to end up with a line. If you have an absolute value, then you're going to end up with a V shape. And then if you have a squared, you're going to end up with a U shape. And those are going to be some things that we're going to continue looking at throughout algebra. But if you need to go back to the original video wherever we went over the functions to begin with, you can find that link below. And go ahead and like our channel, subscribe, and join us again for another video. Have a great day.